Next time on a very spooky fine dining podcast, the season 1 finale, TGI Fridays the 13th. Oh, you betcha, pineapple's gonna hit the fan as Michael's son Juicy, or in this episode, Juice's son Voorhees, goes on a murderous rampage, and no one is safe. It gets real spooky, it gets real bloody, and not everyone's gonna make it to the end of the episode. Who will live, who will die? Listen to Fine Dining, the search for the most mediocre restaurant in America, break down a trip to TGI Fridays based on the atmosphere, the service, and the food, and try not to be scared to death. Hear the thrilling finale of Fine Dining, Wednesday, October 25th, wherever you get your podcasts.
Bullying? Nonsense. Dominic Raab may or may not be abrasive, sob, but he's accountable to voters, not faceless mandarins. And if those mandarins had faces, Dominic would be entitled to punch them. I'm Harriet Langley-Swindon, and this is Non-Censored. Hello and welcome to Non-Censored, the podcast that wraps up all the best bits from my very real daily radio show. I'm joined as ever by my producer, Martin. What a show we have this week, Martin?
Oh, yes, indeed. We've got Eshaan Akbar's hot and spicy takeaway of the week, or should I say, heating and spicy takeaway. And we've got interviews with Matt Hancock and Nadine Dorries.
Oh, you included the Nadine interview, did you?
Well, I mean, she's got a show starting on TV tonight, so she's sort of, newsworthy. I guess.
It's just a shame you couldn't find time to promote a real broadcaster. Anyway, we still need your questions for our question time.
Time for questions.
Episode. So please send a voice note to noncensoredpodcast@gmail.com.
Absolutely. Questions about anything political, cultural, or, anything at all, really. But why don't we start with the Nadine Dorries interview?
Yep, let's get that out of the way. Nadine, welcome back to the show.
Harriet, hi. Yes, broadcasters unite.
Yes, of course, because you are now not just a politician, but also a broadcaster.
That's right.
Very, very exciting. The Spectator, in fact, wrote an article saying the rise of the Presentician, which, of course, is a cross between a presenter and a politician. Which yes. I guess you fall into that bracket now, Nadine.
Yes, and as a former culture secretary, something I was renowned for and everyone remembers it, I love wordplay and I love words, and that was wonderful when that word was invented, essentially by me.
Oh, that was from you?
Mm.
Now, obviously, Nadine, you covered for me on this show because I had to cover for Mr. Motivator on our sister TV channel. Not something I could get out of, what commitments are like. And that must have been the episode that they decided to listen to, the producers of your new show. And
yes,
it's funny, isn't it, how it all works out?
Maybe they listened to a few and settled on someone that they heard.
No,
that
I don't think so.
They listened to a few and they liked the one that I did. But, you had things to do. Mr. Motivator in many ways is, the replaced Princess Diana in the hearts of the nation. And I think it's nice that you were able to step in and help him when he was away.
Yes, I mean, it just is, it's a bit of a sliding doors moment, isn't it? Like, if I hadn't had to do that, I could be doing what you're doing now and interviewing Boris Johnson.
No, I don't think so. I think he only likes being interviewed by me, only me. Whenever he has to be interviewed by someone who's not me, he just goes inside a fridge.
Right, well, no, actually, he has been on the show. I obviously haven't interviewed him on TV.
I know,
but anyway,
I told him
enough about that.
Okay.
Right, okay, all right, wonderful. So what can you tell us about this interview with Boris Johnson? Are we going to see anything new? That we've seen him being interviewed before. We've been to see people have heard of being interviewed on this show. So what new thing is going to emerge?
Is there going to be anything new? Well, in some ways, no. In some ways, yes. Here is the way that it is no. No, because it was filmed over a week ago. But yes, because there are lots of red hot exclusives. Stay tuned, sit on your sofas and watch it.
Well, I can't wait. I can't wait. Any other guests that you're expecting to have on?
Yes, well, of course, the show is on every Friday night, and next week you can expect an exclusive with a certain ex-Prime Minister. I bet you can't guess which one.
Right, is it Boris Johnson again?
Wouldn't you like to know? Yes, it is.
And
Right.
Nadine,
Right.
can we expect your questions to be quite hard-hitting? I mean, speaking as someone who is, is a journalist and a broadcaster, I feel it's important to always hold politicians to account, even when they're friends.
So, yes, we are professional friends, but we're also colleagues. So what I was asking him was hard-hitting questions such as, do you feel you did A, a great job, or B, a fantastic job? And he has to pick an answer. He has to pick one of those two and then elaborate on it, which means say stuff about it.
Right. Okay. Well, that sounds great. Now, listen, Nadine, I hate to bring this up because as a friend, I hope you know I'm so proud of you and your achievement, and it's wonderful watching your career flourish in all sorts of incredibly unexpected directions.
It's not unexpected. It's not. I was head of digital culture and media and sport. No one even knows what digital is. Who cares anyway? But now I am a television woman.
Okay, yes. But you have been accused by Parliament's anti-corruption watchdog of breaking the ministerial code by not consulting it before taking this TV job.
Yeah, I could accuse people of a lot of things. I could accuse you, Harriet, of not having a show on Talk TV, a show that I have a show on there. I could accuse you of that. Would it be true? Yes, it would. Doesn't mean it's true. So I could accuse people of a lot of things. I'll tell you who might not be the best judge of who's corrupt or not. Eric Pickles. Because let me tell you, he's always had a thing against me ever since I didn't say hello one morning as we were passing in the corridors of Parliament, where I work.
Nadine, if you don't... Hello, producer Martin here. I do have to say that Harriet makes a very salient point there, that there does seem to be quite a raft of evidence to suggest that you didn't go through the proper procedure before you became a presentician, as they are calling you, and that you could be jeopardising your position in government. What do you have to say to that?
Let me give you a straight and honest answer, producer Michael. It's, on the one hand, yes, you're meant to declare things like that. On the other hand, who cares?
It would be awful, though, wouldn't it, Nadine, if because of this you end up having to step down as a presenter? I mean, is that something you worry about?
Step down as a presenter?
Yeah.
But then all I'll have is my authorship and my lordship.
Well, it could happen. I mean, do you know what? I think if you did step down, I'm hypothetically speaking, if you did have to step down because of, being investigated by the watchdog.
They can't make me step down if I'm a lord.
Well, maybe it's time for somebody else with a bit more broadcasting experience to step in your boots, really.
If I wanted something in my boots that was of yours, Harriet, it wouldn't be you. Put that in your pipe up, you.
Well, this is all started to sort of boil over a little.
Nadine, we've let you on this show because you're my friend.
No, it's because I'm famous.
No.
You know it is. Harriet, let me tell you, you've always been jealous of me. You were jealous of me the first time we met. Remember? I remember it well. You said, "Good morning, Nadine, nice to meet you." And I could tell what you really thought. You thought, ooh, she might be better at this than me, but she's so busy being an MP, she won't bother. Well, you don't know how little it means to me being an MP. You didn't know then, and now you found out and you don't like it, do you? It's not nice for you, is it?
Look, I don't know why you're throwing these things at me. I think it's actually quite unpleasant. I've done a lot to help you, Nadine. We've had you on this channel to give your side across when a lot of people think you're an idiot. Actually,
no one thinks that. Actually,
a lot of people think
that.
You're an idiot, Nadine. I've always supported you. I've always said, no, she's not an idiot. But do you know what? The next time that happens, I'm going to say, well, actually, she probably is. She probably is, and she can't present.
Harriet, would an idiot try and sell Channel 4? Check, buddy. No, that wouldn't happen. So you've just made... Honestly, Harriet, you just made yourself look really bloody silly, actually, if I may say so.
Now, come on, there's been a lot of language flying around here. Obviously, we are...
I'll say another language if you want. Shut up.
Nadine, soon someone's going to try and sell your show. They're going to try and sell it. Someone who knows what to do with it.
They will not try and sell my show. My show is entirely funded by people that nobody knows who they are.
I mean... Well, there's a kind of half point there, I suppose.
I hope someone privatises you one day.
how dare you? You know how much I like privatising things. I should be the one to do it.
Well, I don't see we need to go on with this interview anymore.
Tune in next week and the week after my show, the Nadine Dorries Show on Talk TV, where my guest is always Boris Johnson, the People's Prime Minister.
And I just want to add that I'm uninviting you to Sunday lunch.
I will eat outside.
Good, well,
Does this mean I can come along now? Because
No,
you said
Martin, don't be ridiculous.
Martin, you're invited to sit in the front seat of my Saab. You can eat with me. It's much more fun.
What are you eating in the front seat of your Saab?
Doesn't matter. Whatever they've got down Londis, doesn't matter. Just, it's the company that counts, and it's me.
Oh, Martin, just disconnect her. Let's end this.
I think you usually thank the guest before we...
Thank you, Nadine. Good luck on your career.
Don't need it.
And Nadine Dorries is going on tour, if that's your sort of thing. She's at Birmingham Glee on the 7th of April, the Lowry in Salford on the 8th of April, and the Hen and Chickens in Bristol on the 20th of April.
I don't think those are her dates.
What?
No, those are tour dates for the comedian Suze Kempner. And she has other dates through May, June and July, which you can find out at susekempner.co.uk. That's Suze as in S-O-O-Z.
Why do we have her tour dates just lying around, Martin?
I was actually thinking about going to see her.
Well, you didn't need to print it out. Let's move on. We had a marvellous interview with my good friend Matt Hancock, who talked about his I'm a Celebrity appearance and breaking guidelines. Sadly, we ran out of time to talk about the book he specifically came on to promote, but let's have a listen anyway. Matt Hancock, hello.
Hi, Harriet. How are you doing?
I'm great, thank you. Now, it's been on the news that you said you were going to give a large fee of your I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here fee to charity, but in fact, you've only given 3%. What was that about, Matt? I mean, you say you didn't go in for the money, but it sounds like you did if you're keeping all of it.
£10,000. I think that's pretty generous. You're saying that you don't want £10,000 for dyslexia sufferers to receive. I mean, ridiculous. I mean, incredibly generous.
It's about the percentage, though, isn't it, Matt? I mean, there's quite a lot of money there still. I mean, what's happening with the rest? What are you going to do with the rest?
3% is nearly half, so I think that's very good-willed of me. And I just, all this negativity. I mean, £10,000 that's going to go a huge way.
I mean, can you tell us about what the rest of the money is going to go towards?
Well, to get on I'm a Celebrity, I've had to lose the whip. I've had to risk so much. That 300,000 is going to have to tide me over for years, okay? And those charities have got so much free advertising. They got prime time advertising for a month. That's going to be worth £400,000.
Right.
So I've given £410,000. That is what I've donated. That if I've made a loss on this, if I'd advertised, all of the sort of protein shake companies, they wanted me to advertise to them when I was on there. Yeah,
is that which protein shake company is that, Matt?
Huel, Gruel.
What? Gruel.
Gruel. If you think Huel's a bit spicy,
you have to be careful.
You go for Gruel,
Matt, because producer Martin, he doesn't know many things, but he does know about his protein shakes.
I love a protein shake, and I'm just open to hearing about new ones. This Gruel does sound pretty good, actually. I do find Huel a bit spicy, to be honest.
Oh, it's great. I'm obviously not going to advertise it for free on your show, as I said, but
Matt, you talk about the advertising you've given these charities. I don't know what the charities are. There's two charities. What are they?
Well, you've got the British Dyslexia Association,
right?
So that's rounding up a lot of dyslexic people. I think that's the plan.
Rounding them up.
Yeah.
Putting them in a little pen.
Yeah, exactly, and then helping, okay. And then just helping
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got to say, I can't help but notice you do seem a little underprepared, and this isn't this isn't a one-off. I've got to say that just as, without any judgment, it does seem like you come on these shows quite well aware of the kind of questions you're going to be asked, and yet you just sort of sit there and flounder. You don't know.
I meant to know both charities that I'm not a rocket scientist. Why should I know? I gave you one of the charities.
That's true. You did give us one of the charities.
You've got to understand. It makes your character seem a little in question. Your motives and whatnot. Like, how committed really are you to this second mystery charity?
Charities would kill for this level of mystique that I'm giving now.
Presumably, as well, you negotiated your fee with I'm a Celebrity. So, I mean, because it's quite a large fee. It's the largest fee compared to any of the other contestants. I mean, how much was money a factor for you going on that show?
I needed to get the message about dyslexia and the other one.
Right.
I needed to get that out there. The money was a consideration, but that's not the main. The main reason was those charities. One of which I've remembered, and why can't we focus on the one that I've remembered and not? It's just so negative.
Matt, sorry if I'm going in hard, but it is my job to hold politicians to account. Whether they are Labour, SNP, Lib Dem, or Independent, and I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask these questions. I'm sure you understand. You are here on Non-Censored, being held to account, Matt.
Well, I don't have the information that you want in front of me. I'm sorry. Is that a crime?
It's not a crime, but Matt, since you bring it up, it is probably best that we do address somewhat the elephant in the room, the crimes.
Here we go. It's always about this.
Let's talk about the crimes.
We've been over this.
We haven't because you say you admit to having broken the guidelines. By a lot of people's estimations, you were actually breaking the law.
Yes, and guidelines that you yourself, Matt, had put out there.
I said that I've broken the guidelines, and we've been over this. And I'm sorry. I did it for love, and it feels like we've been making love illegal. The way that I've been pursued about this.
But you could argue, Matt, that you were the one who made love illegal. Some people, Matt. Some people. I mean, not anyone I know, but some people didn't have love for a long time. They were love-starved over the pandemic. And there you were flaunting your love in their face on a CCTV camera.
Yes.
I didn't want to flaunt that, to be fair. I didn't know
it was very flaunty, Matt.
I was trying to do it under the radar.
Well, it looks like you were using a bit of flair, to be honest. I mean, we were in stage 2. The country was in stage 2, and you were on second base. If you don't mind me saying, if indeed I think I've got the basis right.
I think it's important to say that, Producer Martin. It's important to state what base we're talking about.
I think that's I'm not currently seeing that video now, so I don't know what base I was on. I don't have that video in front of me.
Well, Matt, I've watched that video many times, many times, and it was second base. And there
was certainly a lot of kissy, and I think it's fair to say there was a bit of touchy,
wasn't there, Martin? Yeah. Yes, we talked about this. We had actually a Matt Hancock CCTV night. We all got round. We watched it for journalistic purposes. Ate some popcorn. I made some cauliflower cheese, and I
did a sort of director's commentary. That was
he did, and actually it was surprisingly good.
It was quite good. I was doing a sort of Lars von Trier type, but that's besides the point. It got a bit
dark in places. Yeah,
it's not about the entertainment factor.
No,
of course you have the X factor. That's not why we did it. Nobody's arguing that you don't have the X factor, but you shouldn't have been flaunting it while the country was in a perilous position.
I'm saying it was the X factor. It wasn't the triple X factor. I think it was, just. I wasn't flaunting it, and we've been over this. So many. Can't we move on to other things? I've got a lot to give.
We could move on to other things. I've got a list here. I mean, what about the COVID contracts given to one of your mates during the pandemic?
Back to the affair that I had, actually. Is that possible? I feel that would be better. Let's talk about that affair, I think.
Matt, what's next for you? I mean, are you going to release more books? Go on more reality TV?
I'm in the SAS now.
Right.
I've filmed something, and it's sort of a reality TV show where I sort of learn about being in the SAS, and I'm just in that now. It was so good that's what I do now.
They've actually given you a role in the SAS.
Yeah. And I don't have a ministerial role, so I think I can still balance my obligations to the people of West Suffolk with just protecting the United Kingdom.
So you're now being one of our brave boys.
Yeah. I think in the top 3% of the bravest boys, I think.
Right, top 3%. So it's a number you're fond of.
It's the most important percent. That's why I gave 3% of my earnings to charity.
Oh, I see. So you gave the top 3% of your earnings to charity rather than... Right, okay, therefore the most powerful.
That probably is some misreporting on our point, our side.
That was the best of the... I looked at all of the thousands of pounds, and those 10, I gave the best £10,000 of my life.
For dyslexia and the other ones?
For dyslexia and the second one, yeah.
Matt Hancock, this has been an illuminating chat. Best of luck with your continued exciting and varied career.
Thank you, Harriet.
Well, anyway, that was that. But now, of course, we've got Eshaan Akbar. That was fun, wasn't it, Martin? We got him back in.
Yes, well, he has some quite moving, passionate arguments over something that I once again didn't quite get on board with, but he's got a lot to say, that man.
We put the world to rights in this one, I think we can all safely say. Eshaan, welcome. How are you this week?
I'm very well, thank you. It's been a lovely week. We're entered February. I feel like the days are getting longer. Everyone's feeling happier. And I'm delighted to be back.
Yes, and what's wonderful is now we've gone into February, we can give up dry January, which was a real pain in the arse.
Yeah, white Ramadan is not for everyone, is it?
No, white Ramadan, Eshaan. I couldn't get away with saying that, you see, but you can.
That's why I do, yes, absolutely.
Oh, just brilliant, brilliant.
I feel a little bit awkward just being near that joke, but good. I see the fun side of it.
Because I mentioned Muslims? Is that awkward?
No, I love Muslims. They're in my top.
Well, all the
5.
Muslims. Osama bin Laden. You love Osama bin Laden?
Well, not. I don't think. He was a good man. But anyway, Eshaan, I suppose
moving on, Eshaan.
I suppose you've got a hot topic for us today.
Yes, you got a hot and spicy takeaway of the week?
I tell you what, it is very hot and spicy, a very nice link. What is it that we use to heat our homes? What is it that generally...
I know the answer to this.
Radiators. And what are radiators filled with, usually?
Heat.
Which comes from?
Gas.
Oh, I know this.
The gas.
Done.
Yes.
Gas. Yes, gas.
And as you know, the best gas in the world is British.
British gas. Good old British gas.
Gas is best. It's different from all other gases. British gas is lovely and beautiful. Now, you may have seen in the news the Times newspaper undertook an investigation which showed that a company used by British Gas to pursue debts, Arvato Financial Solutions, were forcing their way into homes to fit these prepayment meters from people who owed them money, despite there being signs that there were children and disabled people living there. Now, of course, a lot of people are upset about this, and the hot and spicy takeaway from me this week is, what's the problem? What's the issue with a company going in? Their job is to collect a debt. right? If they can't collect the debt, they put in systems allowing you to pay for the gas that you're obviously using. If you've got children and disabled people, we know they're gas guzzlers. That's what they do. They're living at home.
They do take up a lot of gas.
I
So
don't
much
know.
gas.
Yes.
I'm not sure we can say that they're gas guzzlers. I mean, children and disabled
They are
people,
gas guzzlers.
that does seem
This is
a little
this is the
offensive
problem with
to me.
Producer Martin. You have to admit, this is the problem with vulnerable people, is they just guzzle a lot of gas.
Yeah, there's so much gas being guzzled.
Well, I'm not sure they
Your
guzzle
little
any more
children,
than
Martin.
normal people.
Guzzling away.
They're not. My children aren't guzzlers. I can't accept that at all. I think the amount of guzzling done by any human is equal to that of another human, whether or not they have a disability.
No, but that's
or
not
they
true,
happen
though,
to
is
be
it?
of a
Because
certain age.
if you're a child, that's
Yes.
not true. Because if you're a child or a vulnerable person, not only do your needs and desires require more gas in the house, but because you're constantly talking about how much of a child or vulnerable person you are, you're blowing hot air into the environment.
I hate to criticise British Gas because I agree with you. It's a great British institution. And I myself am a big believer in fossil fuels and we should, really sort of do all we can to support them. But it's a bit much, isn't it? I mean, I guess, do you know what? I think I'm on the fence with this one. I'm on the fence.
Interesting. Why are you on the
Yes.
fence?
I'm on the fence because I can't help feeling it's a bit mean of them. But also, obviously, you're right. They need to do their job. They need to get their gas. If someone's guzzling lots of gas, what are they supposed to do? If someone goes in to an all-you-can-eat buffet and they just keep eating it to the point... I don't know if you ever saw, there was an article a few years ago about a couple who got banned from an all-you-can-eat buffet because they just kept going and eating and eating. Eating and eating.
I'm sorry, Harriet, Eshaan. I need to say that I really don't think this gas guzzling, slur, in fact, that we're using against the vulnerable and children and perhaps the elderly.
Sorry,
too.
are you suggesting that gas guzzler is akin to a slur like the N-word or the P-word?
No.
If I go around going, oi, you bloody gas guzzler, get out of our street.
I don't think
it's... a bit
it's...
wokey.
I don't think it's kind, and I don't think it's helpful. And I also don't think it's necessarily representative of the amount of guzzling that is going on. I mean, surely there's a lot of able-bodied rich people that are guzzling the most of the gas, heating their stables, for example. Yeah, we all remember that. Or perhaps their swimming pool. Or that's real gas guzzling going on there.
Stables and swimming pools don't require as much gas as, say, hoists or wheelchairs or PlayStation devices.
Maybe I know what the problem is here. Maybe they should just stop guzzling gas.
Yeah.
Don't use the gas. I mean, there's other ways to keep warm. I know, they're vulnerable and some of them can't walk and yada, yada, but make a little fire, or get a wood-burning stove. When it got very cold, in the winter, and obviously everyone was worried about the rising energy costs, and I thought, well, maybe get some wood-burning stoves because then you can just light the wood. And I've actually got 7 wood-burning stoves in my front room.
In Zara, they've got these really nice sheepskin coats, and they're fairly well priced. You can afford to buy them.
That's very true.
Socks keep you warm.
They
Socks do keep you warm. And why not wear 3 socks or large socks?
Long johns, they keep you warm.
Long johns.
The
embrace of someone you love. I
think that's the thing. A lot of these gas guzzlers don't realise, they don't understand the concept of jumpers, Yes, I think that's the problem.
Perhaps we're overlooking another option here, which is that the company British Gas could look to their customers' needs and discuss the variety of different options perhaps that they could approach in order to support their
giving
customer.
the options here. We're giving options here.
I mean, that doesn't rely exclusively on them buying sheepskin coats.
Okay.
Martin, I don't understand, sorry.
What, you don't understand the idea of them not having sheepskin coats? It feels like perhaps tiny children shouldn't be forced into making large purchases like that.
Well,
No,
I don't know.
there'll be
Someone could
small
buy them
purchases.
for them, Martin.
Yeah, there'd be small purchases anyway because they're small. They wouldn't be. You wouldn't buy a big coat for a small child. That's
They
actually
just
quite
get little
energy
mini
inefficient.
coats.
Yeah, these
Many
small
people
coats
have
for
mini
children.
Okay.
coats. Well, I think we've sort of solved this, though, haven't we? Because I don't, as I say, I don't quite agree with you, Eshaan. I don't know if they should just go in and do that. I think that feels a bit invasive. But
Yeah, but they're not even collecting the debt. They're just like helping you pay for what you're going to use.
Right, so we're going to let children set fires in their houses and encourage them to steal sheepskin coats from Zara. That's where
No,
we stand.
they can ask mummy and daddy to buy the coat.
not stealing. We don't.
No one's stealing.
Martin, we're not about stealing. Come on.
Well, it doesn't
The only
sound
people
very
stealing,
positive
the people,
to me.
Do you want to
the
make
only
it-
people stealing are the children, the vulnerable people who aren't paying their debts. They're the ones stealing from British Gas.
I don't think neither me or Eshaan are suggesting they should be criminals. Eshaan is trying to sort of help them stop being criminals, aka not paying their bills. I am sort of
Well-
saying that's a bit unfair. Just use your initiative.
I think what I'd do is just remind you of another person who was driven to theft through hard times, and his
Right.
name was Jean Valjean, and he stole a loaf of bread to feed his family, and then there was a policeman who
Yes.
tried to track him down, and he went to a priest's house. And the priest, and I think he stole some a candlestick. Maybe it was
from
quite
a
expensive.
priest?
Yes, but then when he was brought back to the priest by the policeman, the priest said, "Oh, he forgot the rest of them," and it was actually quite a touching.
So look,
there were
I don't know who
songs.
this.
There were
Right.
lots of songs, and
Okay, Producer Martin, I'm going to stop you there.
French
I don't
Revolution.
know who this Jean Valjean is, but
it's-
he should have been thrown in jail with an indefinite sentence. Anyway, that's all we've got time for
Or
this
made
sentence.
his own bread. It's very
Or
easy to
made
make
his own bread. Or made his own bread. Look, that's all we've got time for this segment. But I think it's been really useful, and I hope it's helped a lot of people at home. Thank you, Eshaan.
My absolute pleasure. I'm just going to turn the heating up now. It's cold.
Well, that was the show. What a show, eh, Martin? Brilliant, brilliant stuff.
Sure. I mean, there we go. Show 34 down the old podcast pipe and being plopped out into everyone's ears.
All right, I'm not sure about that analogy there, Martin.
Well, if you enjoyed it and you'd like to hear more from our podcast pipe, then remember to give us 5 stars and write a nice little review. You could say, "Ooh, Martin sounds nice. I'd like to hear him do other things, like
Yes.
maybe an audiobook. I've always dreamed of doing
Right,
an audiobook."
yes, okay. With thanks to Rosie Holt, Brendan Murphy, Eshaan Akbar, Suze Kempner, Alex Keeley, and Ed Morrish. We'll be back next week for some more Non-Censored.